Okay, so now the ABCs of the blues, the A stands for accompaniment and style. So the first thing that you want to do when putting together a blues song or playing a blues song is to figure out what the style is and more specifically, what type of accompaniment are you going to use. Now, the accompaniments that I'm going to use here are going to be more based on solo piano. However, many of these same accompaniments you can utilize when playing with a bass player as well. Okay, so I'll talk about that as I go, which ones work well with a bass player and which ones do not. Now the very first one is the shuffle. This is just the common, we talk about this in the blues and boogie lesson, and then I've gone through 5 here, but this isn't the only 5. But I'm sorry, I shouldn't say only 5. This isn't the only styles that you can choose. There's obviously many more that you can do, but these 5 are kind of key in that they give you some variety. And if you can learn to play over these 5 styles, it's going to help you to be able to play over many, many other styles as well. You'll start to notice that many styles start to blend together because, I'm sure you've already seen it. Like, what is jazz and where does it become gospel and where does it become blues? Sometimes those lines get very blurred, okay? All right, so anyway, shuffle. It's all triplet based. Triplet, 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 triplet. Now I talk about more of the mechanics of this in the blues and boogie lesson, so I'm not going to really get into the theory behind what's going on. But basically you can see it's root 5 moving up to a root 6. If we're going to go to the F chord, the 4 chord, there it is on the 4 chord, and on the 5 chord it'd be. So you want to get real comfortable just moving between that 1, 4, and 5 chord, playing that shuffle pattern. Now you'll notice that it's written in triplets, okay? Because it's a triplet, triplet. A lot of times I'll write it just in eighth notes because writing it in triplets, you can see it gets a little bit messy. There's a lot of brackets and whatnot, okay? So really want to get down that. Also, do you hear how it's not clean? It's not. This is so much about the blues. Is so much of the blues is about your articulation and dynamics, all right, and the feel. So it's a little round, it's kind of a little more ragged to it. Okay, all right. So that's your shuffle pattern. You want to get that one down. Okay. Next one is just a basic swing pattern. There it is on C, and then F, right, back on C. When we go to G, all right, if we're playing this as quarter notes, we usually just do 4 notes, and then down to F, and then back to C. A lot of times we'll do a little walk up, okay, and I talk about that bass line in other lessons as well, right? But basically, here it's a quarter note bass line, right? Now the shuffle one was swung. This one you might say, well, gee, is it swung or not? Because like you really can't tell with the quarter notes. You don't know if it's being swung or if it's straight eighth notes. I could easily play straight eighth notes up there. Now, just a quick reminder, straight eighth notes do not have any of the like pendulum kind of swing to it. It's not D, ba, D, ba, D, ba, D, ba. It'll just be D, ba, D, ba, D, ba, D, ba. If you need to know more about straight and swung, definitely check out Mastering Rhythms Volume 1, right? So this would be more swung, D. Okay, so that's your swing bass line, all right? Very common. Now, on the swing bass line, that's the one where if you have a bass player playing that, that's when you would normally probably do chords in your left hand and not do the bass line as well, okay? If you're going to play solo, then yeah, you can play the notes, play the bass line down here. If you're going to play with a bass player, you might just opt to play just basic 7th chords, C7, F7, G7, okay? You might also decide to do these rootless chord voicings, 3, 7, 9, 7, 3, 13, G7, F7, and back to C7. Okay? So that will be up to you and up to your discretion. If you want more of a jazzy sound, you can do those rootless chord voicings with those 9s and 13s in there. Right? Okay, so we'll stop this chapter right there. In the next chapter, I'll go through the other 3 styles. So see you in a second.